Recording in progress.
Okay, great, guys. Hi, how are you doing? I wanted to continue part two about our training on TPGP and observations. Okay, so I hope you all had some rest. You were able to, just kick back and start again. And this will be published the day after I've released the first part, so that your administration can actually go through everything and take take heed of everything that I'm saying, and hopefully you can utilize it for your school. Okay, so let's go back to share our screen. We're going to go back to Miss Marissa's presentation here. Here you go, share. Okay, so we've talked about the TPGP. We've talked about the different steps of the TPGP. And one thing that Walt Disney always said, which I really take to heart, the way to get started is to quit talking and begin doing. So that's what I'm going to do right now. Okay. So the first step in trying to understand how to pick your goals. All right, so you've done some work on this. So I'm going to go over with a step-by-step process of how to get to that point. Okay, pick one personal goal. All right, pick one professional goal and pick a goal which falls under what the school will be working on. What are our school's goals and what do they mean to me? All right, so when you go back now to your TPGP, I think you have them all there. Did you pick one personal goal, one professional goal, and one goal that the school will be working on? Check your TPGPs. You can pause my video at any time and come back to me, but I'm going to keep going. Okay, our second step is for each goal, what is your action plan? You know, you talk about action plans and International Baccalaureate and different things in life. Your action plans, first you think, right? And then you act, right? This is what is the action plan going to be? What is your process going to be in order for you to achieve that result? So what strategies will you be using to achieve your goals? What's the action plan? What will you do? That's what the step two is all about. So if you're still confused a little bit on the TPGP and what are the steps, this is what I'm going through. I've made this PowerPoint in order to kind of go back and review on what you are looking for in your teacher's professional growth plan, because this will play an important part in what we talk about in the Danielson framework. Okay, your third step. What resources will you need to achieve your goals? Will they be external resources, internet-based? Will you need the help of society? Will you be using tactile or digital resources to achieve success? Okay? Your fourth step. What are things that you think may happen along the way? Can these outcomes be positive or negative? Of course. Of course, you might think, oh God, if I do this, this might happen. Or if I do it this way, this might happen. It's kind of like if you don't want to talk about something, but you slip and you say something, then obviously you're going to have to give an answer to what you said. So know exactly what you are going to say before saying it, right? It's the same mentality here. Our fifth step is, what will you be looking for to show that you have reached your goal? Okay, how will you prove? How will you prove you succeeded? All right, all right. How will you apply or achieve goals? And how will they change your perspective? And how can you utilize them in your daily life? How will this affect your personal life and society? And what new actions will you take to prove your success? That's your sixth step. Okay, so now we are going to jump into this and say, what types of assessment are there? So now you've done your pre-assessment. You've done your TPGP, your teacher's professional growth plan. This is your baseline assessment. Okay, so now what is going to be expected of you next? Okay, What do you feel would be the next step? So you got pre-assessment. So think about as your students, they have their baseline, and then what happens next? Please talk about it with your group. Go ahead and pause my video for a little bit and then come back. Okay. Okay, so informal assessments will be like mini follow-ups of your TPGP. So your administrator, be it me or your principal or Ministry of Education, they will come into your classroom and do these like mini follow-ups to make sure you are on track with your teacher professional growth plan. Okay, we will plan that is for you. What is your classroom maintenance like? What changes, if any, have you made to your teaching style? What areas do I see that maybe we can add to your TPGP in the future, if not already listed? And what ideas I have to help you to achieve those results? Okay, it's just a pop-in. Maybe I'll come in and say hello to your kids, your students, and maybe help out with some lessons. Think of this as extra help in the learning process for you and your students. And informal should not be scary. It should be something that you realize that I'm just doing this to help you. I'm not doing this to pick out what you're doing wrong. I'm doing it so that I can help you form and become a better teacher. Okay, so we have different types of assessment, right? And just like we have different types of assessment for the children, it's basically the same thing for a teacher. So you have your baseline assessment. This is the first way to know who you are. This is your brand. This is who you are. Okay? You have your informal assessments, which are like summative, right? These are which direction are you going and how can we chart that? Are we going to chart it with the a dot plot? Are we going to be talking about making bar graphs? What is one way that we can show that you, through your informal assessments, that you are showing growth? Okay, you will have an informal assessment. Okay, it's time for the big test. This is going to be your formal observation to make sure you'll get one of these at least once a semester. Okay, and this will show us, wow, have you really paid attention to what your informal assessments have said? And are you still really growing? And then, of course, every day should be a self-assessment of some type. You sit back, think about your day. What have you done in your teaching that could have gone better? What could have gone worse? Or was there something that you could have done better? Or is there something that you would change? Which students are still struggling? All of these things in the mentality of making sure that you felt that you gave your 100%. And if you didn't, what is it that you could change in order to make sure that you do in the future? Okay? All right. So your timeline for your assessment is your TPGP. That would be something first, right? Then you move into your informal observation. Then you get a pre-formal observation. Now, this means what are we going to be focusing on in your learning environments? You get your formal observation. Administrator ticks boxes and takes notes on your development and achievements and marks areas of needing improvement. And then you get your self-assessment. And this is grade yourself honestly. You really sit and think, how did I do? Remember, your self-assessment it's for you. It's to help you grow. It's not something I'm going to look at and say, oh no, so you shouldn't do that, or he didn't do that, or oops. That's not what the administrator is looking for here. This administrator is thinking, is this teacher honest with himself or herself? Or themself? Did they actually achieve the goal that they wanted to achieve? And are they honest enough with themselves that they can see these are areas in which they need to improve? Okay, so when we look at how we're going to pull this all together and what kinds of things you'll be formally assessed on would be under the Danielson framework for digital awareness, because our school is looking for digital awareness. How well are we using digital resources in order to teach our children? So I'm going to stop there for today. I will come back tonight. I will do this another video, part 3, and we're going to be talking and getting into the Danielson framework for digital awareness based on all the elements that we've talked to up to this point. Okay, so I'm going to let you go. I will come back, but the third video will not be released until the second one has been released tomorrow. Okay? Take care. Have a great night. Enjoy yourself. Bye-bye.